the key to happiness and success. An example of an inspired individual was Helen Keller, a renowned philanthropist of the last century. When she was only 19 months old, a severe infection made her deaf and blind. Consequently, she could not learn to speak and often threw tantrums to communicate her frustration to her family. When Helen Keller was 7 years old, her parents found a special needs school and a willing teacher in Anne Sullivan. Partially blind herself, Anne first tried teaching language to little Helen by signing letters onto the child's hand. Helen did not immediately respond, but the patient teacher was determined to find a way to communicate with the young girl. One day, Anne placed Helen's hand under a water spout. With cool water running over one hand, Anne wrote the letters WATER on Helen's other hand. Suddenly, something clicked within Helen. For the first time in her life, she understood that external objects had names. She was so excited that she eagerly begged to learn more names. By nightfall, she had learned the names of 30 more objects. Helen proceeded to enthusiastically learn the signs for people and things in her outside world. She picked up the braille system for the blind. Soon she started grasping abstract ideas like the meaning of the word love. As this door opened new ways to understand the world, she devoted herself to learning all she could. She began to read classical books and books of knowledge like other students of her age. As a young adult, Helen became determined to join Harvard University, although her parents and friends were not so encouraging. Helen persevered, passed the required tests, and was accepted at Radcliffe College, the women's college associated with Harvard. She graduated with academic honors, despite the fact that she was deaf, blind, and unable to speak. Helen now wanted to learn to speak like others around her. She was guided to touch the face, mouth, and throat of Anne Sullivan while her teacher was speaking, and astoundingly, Helen responded to this kinesthetic experience by producing the sounds of speech herself. Helen learned to speak well enough to give lectures that over time inspired normal, deaf and blind people everywhere. In her later years, Helen became a philanthropist, seeking ways to fund the education of others. She lived till the ripe age of 87. Here are a couple of her famous quotations to savor. When one door of happiness closes, another opens. But often we look so long at the closed door that we do not see the one which has been opened for us. Life is exciting business, and most exciting when it is lived for others. Contrast Helen Keller with others whose outer circumstances were exceptionally favorable, yet they failed miserably. One such person was Elvis Presley, an icon of the rock and roll generation. He was handsome, wealthy, a movie actor, possessed a golden voice, and often called the king of rock and roll. Yet he was wretchedly unhappy and often used a round of drugs to gear up for a musical performance, followed by another round to calm him down after the performance. Elvis Presley gorged on drugs, sex, and songs that possibly thrilled his fans more than him. Though externally he was so successful, yet internally he was nearly bankrupt. He died prematurely at the age of 42 with heart complications, other serious health problems, and a long time addiction to drugs. The singer once lamented, "Truth is like the sun. You can shut it out for a while, but it isn't going away." How different were these two luminaries? What did Helen Keller have that enabled her to succeed beyond imagination, despite possessing only three of the normal five human senses? And what did Elvis Presley not have that he failed so miserably in his personal life, although he lacked neither wealth, fame, nor talent? The key difference lay in the state of their mind.